So in last class, we were discussing that the bacterial growth curve under normal conditions of, means the favorable conditions of growth, if everything is provided to the bacteria in a batch culture in a closed system, it will show something sigmoid. But at the end of stationary phase, it will show decline in the population and the bacterial cells start dying. तो क्या होता है इसमें चार फेजेस होते थे, लैग फेज, लॉग फेज, स्टेशनरी फेज एंड डेथ फेज. अच्छा, लैग फेज में कोई ग्रोथ रिपोर्टेड नहीं होती इन द सेंस के सेल्स का नंबर नहीं बढ़ता है. अदरवाइज बैक्टीरियल सेल का जो वॉल्यूम है, द नंबर ऑफ cell will not increase, but the size of bacterial cell will increase because the protoplasm will expand and certain molecules, for example proteins, ribosomes, okay, which were required for the replicating the chromosomes and for the division of the cells, are made by bacterial cells in this phase, in the lag phase. Then comes the log phase, is also called as exponential phase, जहाँ पे हमें exponential growth observed होती है. Means ज़्यादातर जब भी हम कोई calculations करते हैं, always we need to remember this particular phase into our mind, then only we can solve certain problems. Okay, so in stationary phase, then what will happen, the number of growth, means the number of cell divisions will be equal to number of cell deaths. यानी जितनी सेल नई जनरेट होंगी उतनी सेल्स की डेथ हो जाएगी, तो नंबर ओवरऑल नहीं बढ़ रहा है. सो इट विल गिव अ फ्लैट कर्व, plateau like curve here. Ultimately the cell will start dying, therefore the number will decrease if you calculate the log value viable cells per ml. So it will also exponentially decrease. It is very opposite to the growth phase or the log phase. जैसे यहाँ पे बढ़ रहा था, यहाँ पे decrease होगी in the exponential terms. Okay. Now, in the last class, we have solved an equation. So before going into the details of that equation, we need at least two equations. We need at least two formulas to solve various types of problems. पहली है, if you need to calculate the generation time. Okay. Or not only the generation time, if you even you need to calculate the number of generations or the total time, anything if you want to calculate, you need to remember this relationship between these three terms. So the generation time, what is the generation time? We have discussed in our last class. Generation time is the time required for a bacterial cell to divide. यानी कि एक बैक्टीरिया से दो बैक्टीरिया बनने में इतना टाइम लगेगा, वो उसका जनरेशन टाइम है, इन सिंपल टर्म्स. इज द टोटल टाइम. कई बार क्या होता है, टोटल टाइम दिया होता है कि क्या बोलते हैं 4 घंटे में, 5 घंटे में, जो भी टाइम दे रखा है, दैट विल बी योर टोटल टाइम टी. देन नंबर ऑफ जनरेशंस. नंबर ऑफ जनरेशंस इज कि इस टोटल टाइम में मान लो किसी बैक्टीरिया का जनरेशन टाइम 20 मिनट्स है, तो क्या होगा, हर 20 मिनट के बाद बैक्टीरिया क्या होगा, डिवाइड कर जाएगा, मतलब 1 से 2, 2 से 4, 4 से 8. तो इस वे में जो है ग्रोथ होगी. तो मान लो अगर 4 घंटे दिया है, 4 hours, then what will be the number of generations? Simply you will change this hours into the minute time and you will divide by this generation time so that you can calculate this n value. Okay, so anything, if it is given to you, you can calculate any two things. If they are given, you can calculate the third thing, because this is a relationship between these three terms: generation time, total time divided by number of generations. So if you want to calculate number of generations from this particular equation, you need to move this number of generations to this side and generation time to this side. So ultimately T upon G will be n. Let me annotate this if you are not able to get this particular formula. So this will be something like this. So n will be equal to total time divided by the generation time, T upon G. Or if you want to calculate the T, you will simply multiply the generation time with the number of generations. So you can calculate this in this way. These are very simple to calculate. Okay, so for example, we will look into one example of this particular formula where we need to calculate in this fashion. Okay, so I'm moving you. Wait a minute. Okay, here. So this I have taken from your book called MCQ. You need to solve these problems. These some of the basic problems are given in this book, and if you want some advanced problem, then you need to solve the test and evaluation book. Okay, so first of all, there is a problem. A bacterium, fourth question of this, having a doubling time of 10 minutes, and it fills a cylindrical vessel completely into 3 hours. How much time will it take to fill the half of the vessel? You got the question. So please read it once again. A bacterium having doubling time of 10 minutes. So each time it will divide. So what will be the 10 minute? It will be your G value, G for, so you can write G here because, sorry. So this is showing you a doubling time, that is 10 minutes. Fills the cylinder completely in 3 hours. This will be your total time T. Now, how much time it will take to fill the complete vessel? So first of all, what will you do? You need to calculate this total number of generations n term. And once you are able to calculate the n term, then you can solve this particular equation. So, okay. So let me ask you one important thing. How are you able to get this particular question? Someone who is not able to get this question, because this is very simple general question. So I first showed you this only. Bacterium having doubling time of 10 minutes fills a cylindrical vessel in 3 hours. How much time it will take to fill that vessel? Just half. I hope you are able to understand the question. I'm reading it multiple times because this is necessary. If you are not able to get a question completely, or if you read that particular question in hurry just once in the exam, there is a chance to make mistake. Okay, so please read the question multiple times before solving or before deciding what is actually asked in this particular question. So I'm moving you to another page. Before that, I need to close this. Okay, so if you are able to get the question, so this has been asked actually. So now you are having a cylindrical vessel. So cylindrical vessel is something like this. This will take 3 hours to fill this complete vessel. 3 hours means he is saying something, it will take 180 minute. If you convert it into the minutes, then he is asking exactly how much time it will take to fill it just half. Anyone? Please unmute yourself. If you want to unmute yourself, you can, and you can discuss this type of problems. This is very general question. So you need to solve this out. So there are two approaches to solve this particular question. Let me tell you. One is general approach. This type of questions are generally asked because this is a question asked in GATE exam. Okay. So whenever someone is asking you such type of questions, he or she already know this, that you are having very less time to solve this type of problems in some competitive examination. So generally these type of questions are framed to check your journal aptitude, how you can think, what logics you can draw from these type of equations. So these are the basic, these are very basic questions which can be asked in such competitive examinations. Okay, so before solving this, I want to show you one video. So let me show you something. Are you able to see my Google Chrome page? Here is, please confirm guys, because we cannot, we need to solve more questions too. So let me quickly show you. Okay, so We all know this person, right? Are you able to hear the voice? Because I do not know whether you are able to hear this video voice clearly or not. Voice is not audible. Okay, so what can I do? Okay, wait a minute. A bacterium having a of 10 minutes fills a cylindrical vessel completely hours. How much time will it take to fill half of the vessel? Now it is audible or still it is not? Fine. So please look into the problem. This is the same problem we were discussing from the MCQ. So first of all, I want you to keep this into mind that you cannot give, because this video is something 8 minute 41 seconds. So you cannot give each problem 8 or 9 minutes to solve these type of problems, right? So we will discuss some of the tricks how to solve these type of questions. But before solving or before applying some kind these type of tricks, please see this video very carefully. What type of logic he is going to suggest, I would like to show you. Tough problem, why it is difficult? Because it says very less thing. So sir is saying that this is a very tough problem. I cannot agree with this particular thing because this is very, very simple. I will tell you how this is simple at the end of this particular video. So let's look into this. That the question or mathematical problem where they explain much are going to be pretty easier. And when they explain less are going to be much more difficult because you need to guess a lot, you need to hold something XYZ a lot and then no, this is not true. Please, okay, so there are lots of videos you will find over internet which will create a negative image. I do not want to say this, a negative image, but actually this is a state of mind. If you think some question is very tough, it will become tough. If you think some question will be easy, so it is easy actually. So let's look into this. In this case, as they have given side, that is the doubling time units, and the provides the cylindrical vessel P. That is the rest of the things are right. For this to understand, we need to know a very important formula which involves this movement. And that formula is simple as that N equals K 2 to the T by T. That is the I do not want to go into the details of this formula and this video. I'm just showing you this particular video to clear this thing. These type of problems are not very hard. There is a trick to solve these problems, and we cannot give 8 minutes to such type of problems if they are they were asked into any competitive examination like GATE or in CSIR. Okay, so actually he will solve, but actually he will take lot of time to solve this and he will do lots of calculations. As you can see, this is available over internet and you can see this video at your home. I'm not going into the details. We cannot give this much time to this equation, this particular problem. So let me tell you what else we can do. Okay, so I'm moving back to our question. So the question was, let me again tell you, because one or two students have joined recently and they are not aware, means they are not able to understand otherwise. So guys, जिन्होंने बाद में ज्वाइन करा है, मैं हिंदी में बता देता हूँ if you are able to understand Hindi. So actually there is a problem. A bacterial culture will take 3 hours to fill this vessel, this cylindrical vessel completely. So actually he's asking how much time it will take to fill it, just half. As we have discussed from the earlier graph, I told you this curve is very important because generally questions asked from this log phase. This is also called exponential phase. And you need to remember this. The growth in this particular phase is geometrical progression. So geometrical, what is geometrical, by the way? Geometrical growth is something if you put something as a power of 2. So I will write, for example, 2 to the power n. Sorry, actually I cannot make this power here. So sorry for this. What else we can do is, okay, we will move to the text. It is not working. Okay, so it is given here actually. So this is this type of growth which is seen in this log phase or growth phase is geometric progression. What is the geometric progression? Geometric progression, if you write something as a power of 2, for example, 2 to the power n. So you can write this 2 to the power 0 at when there is no growth at all. So this is one cell actually. 2 to the power 0 is 1. 2 to the power 1 is 2. 2 to the power 2 is 4. 2 to the power 3 is 8. So you can note this down. This growth is actually happening in this order. So 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, and so on. Right? So this is very easy to understand this because this is a geometric progression. Each time if you increase the value of n from 0 to up to whatever is given, okay, number of generations, so you will get the number of cells. So 1, 2, 2 to 4, 80, 16, 32, 64, 128, and so on. So each time you need to multiply it by 2. So this kind of growth is called geometric progression, right? Oh, sorry. Now you can think of this complete vessel will take 3 hours. So we will first convert this 3 hour into minute because we are much comfortable with minute as it is given that the generation time of this particular bacterium is 10 minutes. So it is not necessary. You cannot put your logic because generally in books it is given that the generation time of bacteria is generally 20 minutes. But you need to read the question properly to find the given things. Here he's saying that the generation time is 10 minutes. You need to do calculations by assuming that the bacteria is dividing every 10 minutes, right? So G is 10 minutes. Total time is given 3 hours. So we will convert the 3 hour into minute. 3 into 60 will become 180 minutes, right? Now what will you do? We know an equation, just have seen. Okay, so we know an equation where we were given with generation time is equal to T upon N. G is equal to T upon N, right? So यहाँ पे हमें T है, G है, so we need to calculate N first. So N will be is equal to G upon T. Sorry, T upon G. Right. Now, to calculate N, T is 180, G is 10, so N will become 18. 180 divided by 10. Right. So our N will be 18. You need not calculate this also. I will also tell you one more way to calculate these type of problems. So total number of generations is 18. So here it is 18, but just think of this, because this vessel is completely filled in 18 generations, right? So when it will be half, just one generation before it will be half, because multiplying by 2, it will completely fill the vessel because it is a geometrical progression. So just to fill this vessel half, number of generations will be n is equal to 17, right? By to fill this complete vessel, cylindrical vessel, it will take 18 generations. Bacteria need to divide 18 times. So 2 to the power 18, you can calculate the number of cells also. But here it is given that actually you are asked to calculate the time which is required to fill this vessel just half. Actually, the half vessel will be filled full, right, by geometrical progression. If the bacteria will divide by geometrical progression, so in the 8th generation it will fill the vessel. In the just one generation before, it will be 17th generation. So you can simply calculate this out from here also, because it is given 180 minute. So one generation before, you can simply minus the 10 from this. So 180 minus 10, because 10 is the doubling time, will give you 170 minute, right? So this is the way you will calculate these type of problems. From here also you can calculate this further, because n is 17, you will multiply to calculate the total time this time here t. So t will become this time, because we know g is equal to t upon n. So t will be n into g. You will multiply this, so is equal to number of generations multiplied by g. So if you multiply 17 and g is the 10 minute, you will get the same answer, 170 minute. So these type of questions generally or hardly take 1 or less minute to solve. You cannot give these type of questions 8 to 10 minutes, right? So that's how you need to calculate these type of problems. If you are able to understand this problem, we need to move to the next query. Otherwise, please ask me. My voice is low. Okay, no problem. So now, fine. This is very easy. You need not, you actually need not do any type of calculations. Actually, you can find this in one simple step. It is a 5-second question. It is given that it will take 180 minutes or 3 hours to fill this vessel completely. So you should remember, because the growth is actually happening in a geometrical progression. So the one generation before, actually if it is completely filled in 180 minutes, just one generation before it will be half. At general, if you further calculate this, 1/4. So at one generation before, in the 16th generation, it will be here. In the 17th generation, it will be here. In the 18th generation, it will be fully filled. So what will you do? You will just, because there is one generation gap only, so you can minus 180. Okay, you can minus 10 from 180. So generation time is 10 minutes. So t for this vessel to fill completely, means halfly, it will take 170 minutes. So it is also discussed here. Yes, half filling the vessel, it will take 170 minutes, because in 180 minutes, it will completely fill the vessel. Is there a problem? This is very simple, I think. 1/4, it will take 160 minutes. So come on, please. This is the basic logic. If you are okay, let me annotate this. Then, if you are not able to understand it, still okay. So the question was: a bacterial culture is taking 3 hours to fill this vessel completely. The generation time is 10 minutes. So you need to remember, if this vessel is completely filled in 180 minutes, so to fill it half, there is only one generation gap. And to fill it 1/4, further one generation gap. So okay, so one time if you minus 10 from 180, the vessel is half filled. If you further minus 10 from this 170, then 160 will take to fill this vessel 1/4. 1/8, still you will decrease 10. 116. So in this fashion, you will see that a very few number of cells can make a large number if they continue to grow by a geometrical progression. So this is the beauty of this cell culturing. because the bacterial cell number will increase very much in a single generation if the number is very high. Suppose the vessel is half filled with bacteria, in the next generation it will completely fill this particular vessel. But suppose there is only one bacteria, then it will take 17 or 18 generations to fill this half or the completely filling this particular vessel, right? Yes, every cell is dividing. So this type of questions you can solve either way. If you are having a common sense, you can solve without writing anything on the paper. But if you want to solve this by a formula, by an equation, then you need to remember this particular formula. Okay, so let me show you that formula again. So this is the formula. Okay, so sorry. So this is the geometrical progression in the growth phase. And if you need to remember generation time is equal to total time divided by number of generations. So you can calculate n. You need to divide total time divided by generation time is it will be equal to your number of generations, right? So this is the first equation you need to remember to solve these type of problems. The second equation is the total number of cells, n. If you need to calculate total number of cells, you can calculate. What you need to do, you need to know what is the initial number of cells, yani how much cells have you added into your culture vessel, culture tube. Suppose you have added 10 cells in the initial phase. Suppose n0 is 10, and you have been asked after 4 hours what will be the number of cells. So after 4 hours you need to calculate the total number of cells, n. So it is given, if it is given 10, then you need to calculate how many generations the bacteria. If something is not given, then you need to assume that bacteria is dividing every 20 minutes. So 4 hours you first convert into the minutes, then you will divide minute into by 20 minutes, because the generation time you are assuming 20 minutes because it is not given in some questions, for example. Then you can calculate the total number of cells. There is a problem related to this also. So suppose here it is given that a bacterial culture contain 500 cells per ml, right, in a test tube, and they are growing by exponential phase, means they are in the log phase at 8 a.m. in the morning. If you consider a generation time of 20 minutes, what will be the total number of cells after 3 hours? So first of all, what will you do? Because you are calculating for 3 hours, so you will convert this 3 hour into the minute, because the generation time is given in a minute. So 3 hour will be 180 again. So 180 divided by 20, that will be your generation, total number of generations, n. So n will be equal to 180 divided by 20 will be 9 generations. So this is the formula. Number of cells after 3 hours, means at 11 a.m. will be equal to number of cells at 8 a.m. That is the initial number 500. So 500 into 2 to the power n. N will be 9 here because 9 number of generations. Okay, so 2 to the power 9 will be 512. You need to multiply this to get the total number of cells after 3 hours. This is also very basic question. Okay, so let us look one more query, something like this. Is this clear? Actually, we also have discussed this in the last class. Again, we are discussing the same. So let me show you something new. तो इस तरह के क्वेश्चन जब भी पूछे जाते हैं बहुत ही इजी होते हैं, बस आपको कुछ यानी कि दो इक्वेशंस याद रखने हैं, है ना? You need to remember only two equations. One is this, n is equal to n naught into 2 to the power n, and the second equation is actually this: generation time is equal to t upon n, right? Actually, you need not remember this also. If you have some logic, Suppose you need to calculate the number of generations. What will you do? You will divide this total time by generation time. Generation time means the time taken by the bacteria to divide. Means if the bacteria is taking 20 minutes, you will divide total time 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, whatever is given by 20 minutes, so that you can calculate the number of generations. And if you know this n is equal to t upon g, you can calculate the generation time also. So g will become equal to t upon n. Or if you need to calculate the t, you will simply multiply generation time with this n, right? Guys, please respond. This is an interactive session. Actually, I want you all to involve in this particular class. If you are not able to understand, please let me know, because this type of questions or these calculations are very basic and generally have been asked in many competitive examinations, including GATE and some university exams. Okay. Anyone can ask queries. This is an interactive class. Right. So one is this, second is this. Now to calculate, so first of all, before telling you the third equation, which is a derived one, I will show you one more problem. So see here, third equation, for example, third question. A bacterial culture had an initial cell density of 10 to power 3 cells per ml. I request you all, please write the terms, whatever is given to you in the question itself. Otherwise, you need to give much more time to that particular equation. And you actually do not have much time in the competitive exam. So each time when you are reading a question, write the terms. So for example, here it is given, what is this? First value, initial cell density. Initial cell density generally we write with n naught, right? So n naught. Actually, I cannot write this 0 as a subscript. So I'm writing like this. This is not no, this is n naught. Okay, that is the initial cell density. So this is 10 to power 3 cells per ml in 6 hours. What is this 6? It is T. Total time, the cell density reaches 10 to the power 6 cells per ml. Now what is this? This is n actually. So in our equation, we have n naught given, T given, this is given the formula for the number of generations. So actually he has given one more formula. I will tell you how to derive this formula, because I told you that you need to remember only 2 equations. Now this is third one. Actually this is derived one. So you need not remember this. You can derive this easily if you remember these 2. Okay, so no more burden, but at least you need to remember 2. Okay, so first of all, what is given here? So here he has given the total time t, n naught and n, right? What he's asking? He's asking number of generations. So he's asking for n, right? Right. So first of all, what will we do? So I told you 2 formulas. Okay, so first of all, I will calculate though he has given this, but actually I will tell you first how to calculate this, then I will be back on this particular page, right? So first of all here, so you know this formula, n is equal to n naught into 2 to the power n. But to put this, you need to know this n actually. Okay, so how to calculate this n? You can calculate this n by using this formula, but for this actually the generation time is not given. If the generation time is not given, either there's 2 ways. You can assume 20, but this is not necessary that all the organisms or all the microorganisms, bacteria have equal generation time. It can vary from one microorganism to another. Generally, we take 20 minutes, but this is not the case, right? So to calculate, to answer this particular question or to solve this particular question, we need to do logarithmics. So we will calculate the log values on both the sides. So log n will be equal to log n naught. And if you write log 2 to the power n, it will become n log 2, right? So just we have put a log value on both the sides. So this equation will become something like this. Then further, if you will simplify this equation, you will find that n will be equal to log n minus log n naught divided by log 2. In the last class, I told you that you need to remember this because log 2 value is 0.301, right? If you know this, you can solve this particular problem. So n is equal to, the generation time is equal to, from here n is equal to, you will first move this to this side, log n minus log n naught divided by log 2, and log 2 value is 0.301, right? So by this equation, we will solve this particular problem. So we are moving to this, and from here you can calculate this out, right? So I'm annotating this so that you can you are able to understand this, right? So n is equal to, we know, is equal to log n minus log n naught, and this complete value you need to divide by log 2. So divide by 0.3010, whatever you call it. Okay. So now n is given. So what will you do? Log, you know, this is n, so 10 to power 6. I can write this as a power, but this is power. Okay, so how can you write this as power? I do not know, but this is a power, so I'm writing this like this. Okay, 10 to power 6. Then there is a minus sign, log, then there is a 10 to power 3, right? Because n naught is 10 to power 3. This is the initial cell number, and you have given 6 hours. So you need not require 6 hours now. Just what will you do? You need to calculate this, and you will divide by this value. Okay. So first of all, this can be written as 6 log 10 because this is a power. So in the next line, you will write like 6 log 10 minus 3 log 10. And you know this is log 10 is equal to 1. So 6 minus 3. 6 minus 3. Are you able to follow? This will become is equal to 3. You have solved this. You need to divide by this value. So 3 divide by 0.301. You cannot write 30. You need not write 301 because this will be very around somewhere. So in the next line, what will you do? You will multiply 3 by 10. It will become 30 divided by 3. So it will become something 10. So what will be this 10? So this will be your n value. So it is given. So B is the answer. Are you able to follow this particular problem, or I need to tell it again? To calculate this type of problems, you need to know. So it is given though here. So nt is actually 10 to power 6 and naught is actually 10 to power 3. Need to put the values and divide by 0.301. If you find the values of log 10 to the power 6, you will find 6, and log 10 to the power 3 will become 3. So 3 divided by 0.3 will become 10 somehow. Number of generations will be 10 in this particular question. Very good. So there is one more problem, though there are many equations given. So right. So first of all, I will tell you. So first of all, we have solved some questions by using this equation. Generation time is equal to total time divided by the number of generations. Or you can calculate the number of generation n as quick summary. So I'm going to close this session. N is equal to, number of generations equal to T upon G. Right? If you remember this, you need not remember this particular relationship, because number of generations is equal to total time given divided by generation time. You can calculate number of divisions of the bacterial cell, and you can find any one if the two things are given. But suppose the two things are not given, then you need to switch to the second equation, that is saying the total number of cells capital N is equal to initial number of cells and not, यानी जब culture start करा होगा, and into 2 to the power n. N is the number of generations. So you can get the logarithmic value of this. So log n naught, and log n log 2 to the power n will become equal to n log 2. If you simplify this equation, log n minus log n naught will become equal to n if you divide this value by log 2, and you know log 2 value is given, so it will become log n minus log n naught divided by 0.301. Or you further simplify this equation, will become so you will put this into a bracket. You can take the common value of log. So if you multiply 1 by 0.3, it will become 3.3. Log is a common, and n upon n naught, right? There's one more question. So we have solved this, we have solved this. Fifth one. I'm not able to move this. Fifth one, the bacterial culture has an initial cell density. So again, it is saying that initial cell density. So let me annotate this at the same time so that you are able to understand this again. This is saying initial cell density. So this time n naught will be equal to 0.5 into 10 to power 3. Generation time is given. So this is the G actually, generation time G. The cell density at the end of 1 over 40 minutes. So this is T here. Right, we have T, we have G. So this is very simple equation now, because we have two things, we can calculate N very easily. So N will be equal to, because we know the T total time divided by the generation time. First of all, calculate this. So T is given in minute, and this is given in, this is given in hour and minute, this is given in minute. So you can calculate this total time as 1 over 40 minute. So 1 hour is 60 and 40 minute is 40. So 60 plus 40, 60 plus 40 is 100, and you will divide by 20 minutes because it is given. So 100 divided by 20 is equal to 5. So you will find that there is 5 generations. N is equal to 5. If you know that there is 5 generations, now you can calculate the number of. So again, you will put the same equation. You know. Very simple equation you need to put. You need not put the logarithmic values. You have n is equal to n naught into 2 to the power n. 2 to the power n. So this is a power actually. So 2 to the power n is equal to, what will be the power? 2 to the power 5, because n values of n is 5. So 2 to the power 5 is equal to, you will multiply 2 5 times, you will get 32. Okay. 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2, 2 to the 4, 8, 16, and 32. So this value will become 32. What you need to do, you need to multiply this n naught with 32. So what will you get from here? N naught multiplied with 32, because this is 2 to the power 5 is 32. So you will find this out, 0.5 into 10 to the power 3 into 32. You can calculate this 0.5, or you can write this 5 divided by 10. This will become 1 by 2 into 32. So it will become 16, simply 16. If it is 16, this is unchanged, so it's 16 into 10 to the power 3. It is B. So 16 into 10 to the power 3 cells per ml will be our answer. Are you able to follow this out, or I need to, sir, I'm not clear with the last step in the previous question. Previous question, which is the previous question? Yes, B is the answer. You are calculating it right. Logarithmic value. Okay, so guys, please hold here. Actually, one student, one of our colleagues is having some problem in the. Okay, before moving to the first question, let me ask you, are you able to understand this question? समझ में आ गया क्या? बहुत इजी है, बिकॉज यहाँ पे हमें जनरेशन टाइम भी दे रखा है, टोटल टाइम भी दे रखा है. वी कैन कैलकुलेट द नंबर ऑफ जनरेशंस. वंस वी आर एबल टू कैलकुलेट द नंबर ऑफ जनरेशंस, वी विल पुट सिंपल फॉर्मूला. n is equal to n naught, and we will multiply this by 2 to the power n, right? So this is not using logarithmic values, and you will find the answer is B here, right? Okay, so we will move to. Okay, got it. Why you are not able to understand? Actually, I have took one shortcut. That's why you are a bit confused, I think so. So in the last step, actually, we got. So when we are calculating this particular problem, we were getting 6 minus 3, right? Let me annotate this so that you are able to understand this out again. 6 minus 3. So simply you are getting 6 minus 3, right? So it will, what will you got? You will get 3, right? Now you need to divide, this is the value of this term only, log 10 and not n minus log 10 and not. This is 3. You need to multiply, you need to divide by 0.3. So what will you do? In the next step, you will divide by 0.301. Sorry, this is point here. So 3 divided by 0.3. You need not take 0.301. This is a long term. Okay, so I'm taking shortcut, or you can calculate this. If you have a calculator, you please find this. You will get around 10. Okay, so this the value you got will be very close to 10 somehow. But if you need to calculate the exact value, what will you do? You will take a shortcut. So because it is 3 divided by 0.3, I will take this 10 over here. This will become 30 divided by 3. Got it? And this will become 10. I'll remove the decimal by multiplying this 3 by 10. So 30 divided by 3 will be equal to 10. So this will be 10. Either you will get the exact value 10, or you will get something around 10. So the answer will remain 10 also. So we are moving to one more question. Very interesting to solve this type of problems, right? These are very easy. So one more question, guys, please solve this out. Sixth, a bacterial strain with a doubling time of 4 hours. This is for you all. Please solve this. If you are having copy and pen, please write this out. Okay, so I'm telling you though what is given actually. So doubling time is given. So doubling time, you know, doubling time is G, generation time is called doubling time. In simpler terms, doubling time is that the time taken by the bacteria to divide to become, when the bacteria will become 2 from 1. So this is the generation time actually. So please do not get confused by these terms. Doubling time or generation time are same. It is 4 hour and equal proportions. Actually, he is taking the two strains, mixed in equal proportions with another strain. So this is a kind of problem. You are taking A plus B, and both are in 50-50. So you are taking 50-50. Sorry. Right, you are taking in equal proportion. So A plus B, you are adding two strains. So in the first case, for the strain A, the generation time or doubling time is 4 hours. And for B, actually, it is 9 hours. So you can write this G into A because it is for A. And this is G for B, generation time for the strain B, right? So this is 9 hours. You are adding both the strains into a single test tube, and the growth is monitored during the log phase, that the growth phase of the bacterial culture lasts for about 3 days. Now he is saying that the total time T, capital T, is 3 days. You can calculate this out. 3 days is equal to 24 into 3, something 72 hours. So you have total time, you have strain A, you have strain B, you have mixed in equal ratio, 50-50 or 1:1. And then there are some choices. The observed doubling time, that is this or this, will decrease with time, increase with time, remain constant, and fluctuate between 4 to 9 hours. Come on, what is the answer? Shivani, I do not know what is. I do not know. Please, all of you, tell me the answers. Then we will discuss how to calculate this. This is very easy. Okay, Achal is saying it is B. Okay. Come on, guys. It is not. It should not take this much time. That's why I'm saying C. I have left with A, so I'm saying it is A. Anyone else? Why are you so much confused? This is very simple question, guys. Shivani is saying this is D. Achal is saying it is B. Trishla is saying C. Okay, let me ask first of all, Shivani has answered. Shivani, can you please unmute your mic and please tell me why you are thinking that the answer should be D?
Sir, actually, am I audible?
Yeah, you are very audible.
Sir, actually, only the generation time and the total time was given. So I calculated the number of generation, which was 18 for the A strain, and it was 8 for the B strain. I didn't got
Right.
any other information. So I just got that because it is log phase, so it will obviously increase with time and it will not become constant because they are saying it is for 3 days,
Okay, okay,
decrease
okay.
with time. So I
Got.
was only left with the option.
Right, right, right. So got your answer. Okay, so you think like this should be D. Okay,
Yeah.
Achal, second answer is given by Achal Shukla. So Achal, please tell me why you are thinking that it should be B. Please unmute yourself. Achal, are you listening me? Achal बेटा कुछ तो बोलो, इतना टाइम नहीं है, खत्म भी करनी क्लास. Okay, Trishla, why you are thinking like it should be C? Achal is having some network problems. She is not audible actually, so no problem. I will tell. Okay, no worries. Yeah, Trishla. You are also not audible. Hello. No. Actually, Trishla is not audible. Actually, are you able to hear me clearly? Actually, I think there is a network issue both the sides, either with Achal also with Trishla also. No problem. Are you able to hear me? Right. Trishla, you are not audible. Actually, that's why I'm saying that you are having some network issue. So no worries. If you are actually able to hear me, then there is no problem. Also, please hear me carefully. So first of all, this is answer is please do not try this. Actually, this is creating background noise. So leave it. No problem at all. I'm solving this out. So first of all, these type of problems are given to confuse you. First of all, you need to understand this question has been asked in IISc, Indian Institute of Science. So this you will find that very high level questions generally asked in IISc, but this is very simple. So first of all, there you need not do any calculations. First of all, there is no calculation in this equation, though I have wrote GAGB just to confuse you further, because this is a long question. This is some 2.5 line question. So all the information is actually given to confuse you out. Okay. So it will increase with time. Why it should increase with time? You can think of that if he want to ask something, so he should give some values, but he's saying that either it should decrease or increase or remain constant or fluctuate. So this is a general question. There is no requirement to do the calculations. So first of all, it will increase with time. Generation time is increasing with time. What it mean because there is two strains, one is A, one is B. Shivani, you exactly calculated rightly that A strain is taking 4 hours, so the number of generations in 3 days will be 18, and here it will be only 8 generations, right? So what will happen actually after 3 days? So in the same media, because these cells are growing in the same media, we know with the growth of the bacteria, there are three problems. Why the stationary phase will reach after this log phase? There is due to three problems. One problem is because the nutrients which are available in the culture will be depleted. Second thing is the bacteria will excrete some of the nitrogenous waste which will be accumulated into the media. So generally the toxic metabolites which will not allow the bacteria to grow at a fast pace. So they will increase the generation time. So when the 3 days will approach, the generation time of A will be more than 4 hours, and the generation time of B will be more than 9 hours. So therefore, it will increase with the time, and the right answer is B. And there is third problem also, because the space is exhausted, because when the bacteria will continue to multiply, there is problem of space, because after 18 generations, you can think of 2 to the power 18. If you take one bacteria also as an initial bacterial cell, after 18 generation, you will calculate 2 to the power 18. So there is a large number. Here also, if you try to calculate 2 to the power 9, then you will 8 or 9, then you will find that this is also a huge number. So because there is large population present in the culture, so the space will be exhausted. So there is a problem of nutrient, there is problem of living space, and there are lots of metabolic excretory products. They will increase the generation time. So it will take more time to divide at the end of third day. I hope this is understandable. Seventh problem we have discussed in previous classes. There is already two queries. Yeah, you can also assume like this, the Trishla has asked a query. I choose because it is mentioned in question lasts for 3 days in log phase. No, Trishla, think of this in another way. If there is 3 days, so let me show you something first. See here, so this time which is mentioned over this x-axis and the log value which are mentioned over this y-axis, they are showing this is growing very fast. Generally, if the bacteria is multiplying every 20 or 30 minutes, this will be in the stationary phase or even in the death phase, even after overnight incubation. Overnight incubation generally is 12 hours, but he is asking for 72 hours, right? So in 72 hours, obviously it will move from the out of log phase and it will move into the stationary phase. So suppose somewhere here, so you can see that generation time, it is very, means it is 4 hours in case of A, it is 8 or 9 hours in case of B. But here when it reaches here, the generation time will increase because it will take more time to divide. Okay, it will take more time to divide, therefore the generation time will increase if it is move out of log phase and if it will enter into the stationary phase because time is plotted over x-axis. Are you able to got the point, logic? Right, so next question is, so I hope you will find this type of problems from test and evaluation also and from the last year or previous year question papers and try to solve them out. Only what you need to remember, these 2 or 3 equations. So we have discussed 4 or 5 questions related to this. This type of simple questions generally asked in GATE or in university examinations or even CSIR sometimes. Okay, so let me show you one more question. Though we have discussed this in our previous classes, so the students which are not present in the previous class cannot uh, answer this question. But they can try even because this is a question asked in JNU. So chemolithotrophs are those bacteria which utilize. Yeah, guys, those students who were present in those particular classes in which we have discussed the bacterial nutrition, even those who did not, uh, who are not present in bacterial nutrition class, please go to the YouTube and we have recorded lecture versions. So please go through into the bacterial nutrition lectures. Okay, so I told you a trick. And the trick is called capital E, small e, C, right? Yeah, you have rightly answered this. This is A actually. So let me tell you how to find this for other students also if they are not able to understand what he's asking. Right? So we have a trick, capital E, small e, C. But whenever you are asked such type of questions, chemolithotroph, chemoautotroph, chemoheterotroph, or photoautotroph, so you need to remember this trick always. So capital E, small e, C is the energy source. This is the electron source. This is the carbon source. For each word, we have 2 words, PC, low. So PCLOAH. So there we have 3 words, capital E, small e, C. Here we have 6 words because we have divided each word into 2. So depending upon energy source, it can be phototroph or chemotroph. Depending upon electron source, it can be lithotroph or organotroph. Depending upon carbon source, it can be autotroph or heterotroph. Now he's asking chemolithotroph. Chemo means he's asking for this energy source. Here it is not using the light energy, so the organism is using, the bacteria is using some chemical energy. So inorganic material as an energy source, right? Second thing is lithotroph. Litho means it is using electron source as an inorganic material. If it is using organic material as an electron source, then it should be organotroph. Okay, so it is using an inorganic material, so as an energy source, also as an electron source, though it is not given in the question or not in the option also. Therefore, this should be the answer. Rest we can leave, right? So if the organism is using light as an energy source, it is phototroph. Chemical energy, chemotroph. Inorganic source of electron, lithotroph. Organic source, organotroph. If it is using CO2, it is autotroph. And if it is using other organic source, organic materials for carbon source, then it is heterotroph. Right. So we have more question related to this trick. So we need to move further. Okay, question second. Bacteria growth cultures eventually stop growing and enter into the stationary phase because all three are correct actually. Depleted essential nutrients, accumulation of toxic products, too much crowded because the space is exhausted. But actually the answer is given as both A and B. So if the answer have an option A, B, C, we can tick all the three, but because here actually he has given only two, so we will choose the most correct answer. So in such type of questions, if you are confused, please choose the most appropriate answer instead of choosing three out of them. You need to choose only one. So this will be the answer D. What is the definition of generation time? So the time taken by the bacterial population to double itself. So this is the doubling time of generation time A. We have one more question. Bacillus anthracis capsule is made up of. I have not discussed this type of question in the class, but here it is given Bacillus anthracis. Listen, in different microorganisms, the capsule property may be different, and this capsule is giving some kind of resistance to to this particular microorganism from antibiotics. It will protect this. So in Bacillus anthracis, actually this is made up of gamma glutamyl. So here's the answer. Polygamma D-glutamate. This is an amino acid, but when this amino acid will make a polymer, polypeptide, this capsule will protect Bacillus anthracis and will enhances the lethal toxin activity. So it will protect this bacterium, and thus the toxicity, or you can say it will become more lethal due to this PGA, polyglutamic acid capsule. This is a kind of virulence factor in Bacillus anthracis, the causative agent of anthrax disease. Next question, bacteria that must have organic molecules both for energy and as a source of carbon. I told you this, right? You need to apply the same trick. If it is having carbon source, bacteria having the organic molecule both has energy and source of carbon, then what should you call this particular bacterium? If you remember this, capital E, small e, C, and you know the second trick, PCLOH, PCLOAH, right? Always write this like C, chemoheterotroph. Yeah, right answer. So always remember, if it is saying that the source of carbon as well as energy is an organic molecule. So organic molecule is this. So this is organotroph. Okay. So if it is using this organic, oh sorry, energy for the energy, actually it is chemo, because energy related terms are photo and chemo. Carbon related terms are auto and hetero. So if it is using organic source, this is hetero, and it is using the chemical energy, so it is chemo heterotroph. 10th question, the group of organism which uses light as energy source, it will be photo because it is using so photo, and CO2 as a principal carbon source, photoautotroph, right? So 10 is D. Are you able to get this? This is a trick to find this type of problems. Okay, so if you know that capital E small c is actually PC Loho, so you can find the answers. Chemolitho autotroph. Here actually chemo because it is using chemical energy source. So chemo, it is using litho. Litho means it is using inorganic electron source, and autotroph it is using a carbon source as CO2. So this is chemolitho autotroph. So जितने भी सल्फर ऑक्सीडाइजिंग बैक्टीरिया हैं, हाइड्रोजन बैक्टीरिया, नाइट्रीफाइंग बैक्टीरिया, नाइट्रोजन fixation bacteria, they are all actually chemolitho autotrophs because they will use CO2, they will use inorganic source of electron like nitrite or nitrate or something, and they will use some chemical energy of oxidation. So therefore all the above are chemolitho autotrophs. I told you this, that always whenever this name will come, chemo, litho, autotroph, for example, the order will remain capital E, small e, C. So capital E for the light source, small e for the electron source, and capital C for the carbon source. Okay. So then you need to split each word into two. For example, energy source can be photon, means the light, or the chemical energy, phototroph, or the chemotroph. Electron source can be inorganic, lithotroph, or organic, organotroph. Carbon source can be carbon dioxide, that is autotroph, or other source, for example, some organic molecules, then it is heterotroph. So whenever this name will come, this will always remain in this order, capital E, small e, C, or either this, or this. You cannot put two values, two names together. For example, photo and chemo. This is not possible. Either this or either P or C, either L or O, either A or H for these three terms, right? So we have more questions. Are you enjoying this session, or should I start theory portion again? So let us solve two or three questions, more questions, then we are moving to the theory portion. Okay, so chemo autotroph. Chemo means it is using some chemical energy, right? So use of inorganic carbon dioxide. No. Yes. Use of inorganic carbon dioxide as an sole source of carbon, because it is using carbon dioxide as source of carbon, therefore it is autotroph. And chemo, because it is using sunlight as source of energy. No. Use of organic compounds as a source of carbon. No. Energy derived from the oxidation of, yeah. So actually P and S are correct for this particular term. You can write the same words again, capital E, small e, and C, and then you can find out that actually for this P and S are correct. It is using the inorganic carbon dioxide use because it is autotroph, and it is using energy. Chemo means energy related term. So either it should be chemotroph or phototroph. It is not phototroph. So It is chemotroph. So chemotroph is using energy derived from the oxidation of either organic or inorganic molecules. Doesn't matter. It can use either organic or inorganic. In the energy term, it is not mentioned, but if it is electron source, it is always mentioned. If it is inorganic, it is litho. It is organic, organo. All clear? Guys, please respond quickly. Good. Okay, so we have not discussed this actually. So I'm telling you, please hold on. I'm coming to this particular question. Okay, psychrophile, psychotroph, mesophiles, halophiles. Halophiles means those bacteria which actually living in high salt concentrations. So S is for actually mesophiles which grow in normal conditions. That is optimal growth around 20 to 45 degrees Celsius. See, psychotroph and psychrophile. This is A, this is B. So P is B, Q is 1, right? So you can match the following. So in class, actually, we have not yet discussed about these, but if you want to discuss, I have a slide. So it is given here actually, right? Stop. Oh, no. So though it is having this flash, but I will read this out so that you can note this, or like this. So halophile, sorry, before halophile also there is something. So various microorganisms can be divided into the category depending upon the environment in which they are abundant. जहाँ पे microorganism सबसे ज़्यादा पाए जाते हैं वहाँ उस basis पे उनके environment की basis पे उनको हम classify कर सकते हैं. We can classify them according to their microenvironment. For example, osmotolerant. They are able to grow over wide ranges of water activity and osmotic concentration. मान लो कहीं पे osmotic concentration बहुत ज़्यादा है कम है, osmotolerant organisms can survive. Okay, halophiles, if the salt concentration is very high, require high levels of sodium chloride, usually above 0.2 molar, to grow. For example, halobacterium and other species of archaea are halophiles. So this is depending upon solute and water activity. Then if the pH is depending upon pH also they can classify acidophile, very high acid, matlab 0 to 5.5. Means if you decrease the pH below 5.5, this is the optimal growth conditions for these acidophiles. Sulfolobus, ferroplasma, aconitum, whatever we call it. Okay, neutrophiles. Neutrophiles are having neutral pH to survive. They require neutral pH. So growth optimum actually between this 5.5 and 8. You can find this as a neutral around neutral 7. So you will move up to 5.5 and max up to 8. Alkalophile, you will move from 8 up to 11.5, means in the alkaline condition. Bacillus alkalophilus, for example. Depending upon temperature, they can be classified psychrophiles. They're growing at 0 degrees Celsius, but has an optimum growth temperature of 15 degrees Celsius or lower. So you need to remember either they will grow, they can grow up to 0 degrees Celsius also, but the optimum growth is generally seen either at 15 degrees Celsius or below 15 degrees Celsius. Psychotroph, they can grow 0 to 7 degrees Celsius. Actually, they need a little higher temperature to grow. So they generally grow 0 to 7. But actually, the optimum growth is generally seen between 20 to 30 degrees Celsius and a maximum. What is this? And a maximum around 35 degrees Celsius. So this is called psychotroph. They can grow 0 to 7, but actually the maximum growth is actually 20 to 35, 20 to up to 35. You are able to got the difference. You need to remember these two at least because they are very similar, but how you will differentiate, this is psychrophile. Psychrophile means, phile means loving. Psychro means low temperature loving bacteria. Yani ki they will grow only very low temperature range. generally grow at, they can grow up to 0, even at 0 degrees Celsius, but the optimum growth temperature is less than 15 degrees Celsius. They can grow up to 15. But trough is not phyll, so they need more temperature. So they generally have temperature 20 to 35. Maximally, they show growth around 35. So they have optimum temperature around 20 to 35 degrees Celsius, though they can grow 0 to 7 degrees Celsius also. Mesophile means normal conditions as we have. Okay, so has optimum growth 20 to 45 degrees Celsius. Thermophile means temperature loving bacteria, means at high temperature they can grow. They can grow at 55 degrees Celsius, but actually their optimum temperature is between 55 to 65 degrees Celsius. Generally, they require require temperature between 55 to 65 degrees Celsius to grow maximally. Hyperthermophile, even more temperature required for optimal growth. That is 85 to 1110 or 113 degrees Celsius. Depending upon oxygen also, they can be classified. Two are more important: obligate and facultative. Obligate means they obligate anaerobe. Sorry, there are two terms actually: obligate aerobe and obligate anaerobe. Obligate means they are very obligate. Means if they are obligate aerobe, they will require oxygen. Completely dependent on atmospheric oxygen for growth. For example, Micrococcus luteus. Obligate anaerobe, they cannot tolerate, means they are obligate for anaerobic conditions. So they are completely dependent upon anaerobic conditions. So thus they are not able to tolerate the oxygen, and they will die if there is oxygen present. For example, Clostridium species are example of this. So you need to remember at least Clostridium or Methanobacterium, because they will survive in presence of methanogen. Sorry, Methanobacterium is okay, so I thought this is archaea, but this is not. This is other bacteria. Methane producing bacteria are called methanogens. So this is methanobacteria. Facultative anaerobe. Facultative means they are not very tightly bound to any term, but facultative means they can survive in the presence or absence of oxygen. Anaerobe, but they are anaerobic, they will require anaerobic condition, better growth. So does not require oxygen for growth, but they will grow better in its presence. So they are anaerobe, they can grow in the absence of oxygen also, but they are facultative anaerobes, means generally they do not require oxygen, but they will grow better if the oxygen is present. Okay, aerotolerant, nothing matter if the oxygen is present or not, they will grow equally well in the presence or absence of oxygen. They're called aerotolerant anaerobes. So Streptococcus pyogenes, for example. Microaerophilic. Micro means they will require small air. Micro means 10%. So require oxygen level between 2 to 10% for growth, and is damaged by the atmospheric oxygen if it is 20% or exceeding 20%. Then depending upon pressure, they are called barophiles, means growth, they will require more hydrostatic pressure to grow. For example, Photobacterium, Profundum, and other species. Okay. Guys, if you have any query or question, please ask me. Actually, we are running out of time, so we need to finish this. So, right, we have discussed everything from this PDF. One more thing actually we need to cover in this particular class. So before starting this, we also have these terms in your book here: halophiles, acidophiles, alkalophiles, psychrophiles, psychotroph. Some you are able to understand. For example, halophile, acidophile, alkalophile, you know them, but you are a bit confused when you were asked from either of these: psychrophile, psychotroph, obligate aerobe, facultative anaerobe, aerotolerant species. Okay, so you need to remember at least these 3-4 terms. Obligate anaerobe means they do not require, they are obligate for anaerobic condition. They are completely not requiring oxygen for growth. Facultative means they will not require oxygen for growth. They can grow in the absence of oxygen also. But if the oxygen is present, this is a beneficial condition for them. They will grow better in its presence. For example, E. coli and Enterococcus. Aerotolerant means they can tolerate both the conditions. They will equally grow in the presence or in absence of oxygen. Aerotolerant species. Obligate anaerobes, they cannot tolerate the oxygen and they will die in its presence because they are obligate, means they are obligate parasites for anaerobic conditions. Facultative can grow, but obligate anaerobes cannot grow in the presence of oxygen. They will die. Microaerophilic means they will require very low concentration, up to 10% for optimal growth, as I showed you, 2 to 10%. But if it is exceeding 20%, they will die. So this is microaerophilic. Treponema pallidum is one example. Then we are having one more topic to discuss in this particular class. Hope you are able to understand whatever we have discussed till now. Now, calculations of bacterial cell density. What is this? Cell density is the number of cells per unit volume. So suppose in 1 ml. So the number of bacterial cells can be determined directly as well as indirectly. There are two ways to calculating this. Direct measurement can be carried out by measuring the colony number and by counting the number of cells in a microscope. So you are having some slides, some design slides where you are having sections made. You can put these slides under the microscope and you can calculate the number of cells, right? You have, I hope you have done in your BSc, you have counted the number of cells. So you can count the number of cells in microscope, but this will take time and sometimes you need to do calculations. So how you will calculate in examination, if you are asked to calculate the number of CFU, number of colony forming units, for example. So whereas the indirect method involves measurement of optical absorbance through the spectrophotometer. So this is the direct method when you count under the microscope. Indirectly, you can you can take the OD and the spectrophotometer into some UV range or around 600 nanometer, 595 exactly. So you can calculate, depending upon this OD, you can tell what is the number of cells which are present in the bacterial culture. Okay. So measurement of colony number, bacterial cells from colonies on the agar medium. So if you have grown the cells over some agar plate, agar is a solid media. As the bacterial cell will divide, the progeny bacteria remain adjacent to the original bacterium. And as a number of progeny increases about 10 to the power 6 cells, a visible cluster of bacteria will appear. This is called colony. So if someone asks you how many cells are generally present in a colony, so generally 10 to the power 6 cells are making a visible colony. Visual colony. Okay, so as I'm showing you. So here is one plate. So over the plate, you are able to see the colonies, right? So each colony generally have a rough number 10 to the power 6 cells in single colony. Because they are formed from a single cell, this is called CFU, colony forming unit. Because one cell will continue to divide and it will grow its cell number by geometrical progression and ultimately forming 10 to the power 6 cells. So will become a visible cluster of cells called colony. Okay, even the small colony can have 10 to the power 6 cells, a large colony can have up to 10 to the power 8 cells. So a visible colony generally have 10 to the power 6, up to 10 to the power 8 cells in a single colony or in a single dot. You are able to see over the plate. So now you need to find how many cells you have taken to find the colony forming units, right? So because each viable cell can form a single colony by counting the number of colonies formed over the plate when the non-volume of diluted culture is plated over the over the plate. Usually bacterial culture contain a very high number of cells, therefore it must be diluted before plating, and the dilution factor must be taken into the account to calculate the exact number of the cell density in undiluted culture. So it can be calculated by using the following formula. So there is a formula. What is formula? Number of viable cells. So this is actually the number of viable cells. You can call them the CFU, colony forming units, because only the viable cells will make the colonies. They will continue to divide and they will make a colony. To calculate this, this is showing that the number of colony formed. So you can count the number of colonies over your plate, and this is exactly equal to number of viable cells, right? Now you need to put this value, ml of undiluted culture. So ml of undiluted culture is having so much cells. To calculate this undiluted culture, you need to multiply this ml plated, means how many mls you have plated over the agar plate. You need to multiply this value by a dilution factor before plating. You need to take this dilution factor into consideration, because if you will not multiply this value with dilution factor, which you have added before plating, you will get wrong value. Okay, so this dilution factor is also very important. So what is the formula? Simply, you need to put both the sides equally. So number of colonies forms are actually the number of viable cells, CFU, and ml plated. If you multiply with the dilution factor, this is the dilution factor actually. So dilution factor into ml plated will be actually showing the number of cells in your undiluted culture. So if you see, both the terms are equal, therefore they have put one equal sign here. So suppose if you need to calculate this number of viable cells or number of colony forming units or number of CFUs, you need to calculate this out and you will move this to this side. See, so generally to get this culture plate, you need to put or streak over this plate. So what will you do? You will dilute first. You will take 1 ml of stock solution, in which you can see this is dark blue. Dark blue in the sense because it is having high concentration of bacterial cells. So what will you do? You will take 1 ml out of this stock and you will add into 9 ml of, suppose this is 9 is to 1. So what will be the dilution factor? So this is 1 upon 10, or you have diluted this 10 times. So one more question can be asked from this particular dilution series, because what is the 10 time dilution? 10 time dilution is actually you are taking 1 ml of the stock solution and you are adding into the 9 ml. If you are diluting it 100 times, you are taking 1 ml and you are adding into 99 ml of your culture, fresh culture. So each time when you are calculating this dilution factor, 10, for example, 10 or 100 or 1000, you need to take 1 ml. If you are adding 1, so this will become 10 times. Then again, because it is diluted, but to dilute it further, you will take 1 ml out of this and you will add into fresh 9 ml. So then it is again 10 times diluted. Then again 10 times diluted. So that's how you will continue to dilute your culture, and you are decreasing the number of colony forming units which are actually present in the stock culture. So to calculate the stock culture, or to calculate the number of cells in the stock by counting this plate CFU, you need to take this dilution factor also into the consideration. You will also need to multiply this dilution factor. So what will you do? To calculate the CFU per ml can be calculated by using the formula. CFU per ml is equal to number of colonies into dilution factor divided by volume of the culture plated. So this is another formula. This is not very, actually it is similar to the same formula we have seen in the Pathfinder, but it is a simplified version. So CFU per ml can be calculated by putting number of colonies, whatever you get over the plate. Okay, so if you count the number of colonies, suppose you are able to get 130 as it is given in one. This is a problem. Suppose the plate of 10 to the power 6 dilutions yield a count of 130 colonies. So the number of colonies will remain 130. Dilution factor, you will put this dilution factor, you will multiply this out and divide by the volume of culture plate. So That's how you are able to calculate the bacteria per ml. Okay, bacteria or CFU per ml. There is one more problem. 5 ml of bacterial culture is added to 45 ml of this. So you can simply find out this 5 ml is added to 45 ml. So this 5 is, if it is added to 45, this will become 50. If you divide 50 by 5, it will become 10. So it is actually diluting it 10 times, right? So 5 ml of bacterial culture is added to 45 ml to make 10 times dilution. From the suspension, 2 serial dilutions are made. 1 upon 100 dilutions are made, and 0.1 ml is plated onto the plate, count agar and last dilution, and after incubation 37 colonies are counted over the plate. So this time actually you have 137. So what will you do? Initially you have taken 5 ml into 45 ml, so already you have 10 times diluted. So then again you have made 2 serial dilutions of 1 upon 100. So you are adding 1 ml out of 199 ml of fresh culture. So this is 100 time dilution. So you will multiply 100 into 100 two times, because you are 2 serial dilutions. You are making 2 serial dilutions. So there are 3 dilutions actually, 1 here and 2 here. So this is 10 into 100 into 100, 10 to the power 5. And you are having, so number of colonies 137, 10 to the power 5, it is dilution. And what you need to divide? Volume of culture plate. So volume of culture plate you are actually adding to the agar plate. So you have taken 0.1 ml and plated onto the plate, agar plate. So you simply divide 0.1. Ultimately you will get 1.37 into 10 power 8 CFU per ml. So this is also simple to calculate. Okay, so this type of problems you can face, and whenever you will do these culturing experiments in lab, you need to calculate the dilutions or the number of cells in your culture, or the colony forming units you need to count over the plate. Okay, so this is an ideal problem to solve this type of equation, this type of questions. You need to take dilution factor into the consideration. So first of all, here it is diluting, then again he is making 2 times serial dilution, then he is plating 0.1 ml to the agar plate. So first of all, 137 colonies he was able to count over the agar plate. So 137 into 10 to the power 5, because this is dilution factor, divided by the ml plated over the agar plate. So this will give you the total number of colony forming units per ml. Right? Please ask if you have a query, otherwise so we have discussed influence of environmental factors over the bacterial growth. In the next class, we will continue actually we have discussed this in our last class, chocolate media and McConkey agar, which is a selective and differential media. Okay, so isolation of pure culture we can do in 2 ways. One is called streak plate method. This is the streaked plate. So this is a spread plate or pour plate, and second is serial dilution. So one is this, you can streak your plate. So this is showing in different directions. Actually you need to put your culture so that you are able to get this type of pattern. This is an ideal plate, so you will get the colonies in this form. So this is, he is using a glass spreader here. So this spreader is used to streak the plates, agar plates. Or the second method is this serial dilution method. So using the serial dilution method also you can, because otherwise if you pour this particular culture over this plate, the colony number will be too high. You cannot count the number of colonies over your plate. So First, you need to make the serial dilutions. Then only you need to plate over this different plates. So if you plate from this tube, you will get few colonies. If you plate from this tube, you will get, you see the number of difference in the colonies which are present over the agar plate. Still, if you plate from these tubes, you are not able to count the number of colonies even from this tube. So you need to make an ideal dilution to culture before plating over agar plate, right? Okay, so guys have no queries. That's all for today. Thank you so much. Good night. Take care. Bye-bye. See you. Okay, so let me, before closing this particular class, because actually most of the time we have discussed the problems only in today's class. So tell me, tell me, are you able to understand the problems related to bacterial growth and dilution? Or if you face any queries or still you face some problem, you can WhatsApp me to my personal number or in the group so that other students can also benefit, can also able to get the benefit of this. Okay. So thank you. Good night.